All right, welcome back to class. In the previous section, we talked about how to entered customers and vendors and even our consignment vendors. So in this section, what we'll be doing is to add a couple of transactions, starting with invoice, purchase orders, and bills. So these are the items we are going to enter. So you have to pay key attention here, because this is exactly what you'll be using QuickBooks to do. Not as if the other aspect of QuickBooks are not what you're going to be doing. Of course, they are what you're going to be doing, but these are the recurrent transactions that you're going to be doing every day. Remember that all those parts where we are doing, they are just one-off or one-time and setup that we are doing, so that it will enable us use these features in QuickBooks. So these are the recurrent areas where you'll be using QuickBooks very well. So the adding of invoice, the creating of purchase orders, and the entering of bills, these are things you will have to be doing every day in QuickBooks. Okay, so you have to pay attention here, because it's very, very important. So let's start with invoice. So if you look at here, we have invoices to invoicing goes to customers, purchase orders goes to vendors, bills too goes to vendors. Okay, so you have to just see how these things flows. So customers, we have our first customer. Our first customer is who? Kids Love Art, right? So you can see the times of the sales. Sales is net 30 days. And there's a discount of 10%. Product purchase, that's if a person paid within these days, within 30 days, he has a discount. Within 30 days or 30 days, he has a discount of 10%. Now, the product the person purchased is group art classes. So this is a group art class. So that's what we're going to do. How many quantity did the person purchase? The person purchased 10 unit at the rate of this. That's before discount. Okay. That's before discount. That's the original value. So let's go ahead and add this transaction. So when you go to your invoice, you can come here or you come here. You see also create invoice. So this is the shortcut. Click on it. Once you do that, what is the name of the person? Kid Love Art. That's the name. What is the date of the transaction? Now the date of the transaction is 1st April. So 1st April. That's the date of the transaction. Remember, I told you that date is very, very important. So this is 1st, and this is going to be April. So we have the times of the agreement is net 30 days. The times of the agreement is net 30 days. So the quantity bought is 10, and the item bought is group art classes. So that is, you can see, the moment you put the quantity, you select the item, it will calculate the value for you. So it has calculated the value. This is it. So this is non-taxable. It is a non-taxable transaction, so you leave it like that. You click on save and new or save and close. Okay, save and new or save and close. So let's see. Yeah, save and new or save and close. Okay, we don't have any other transactions for that day, so let's go ahead and say save and new, so we can enter another transaction. So okay, yes. So who is the next customer? Okay, this is because the email this thing is on. So I would like to uncheck this email and uncheck this print, so that I will not be having this reminder for just to print. But it is important. It's not as if it's not important. It's important so that it will enable you know the bills that are overdue and the bills that you are going to print. But let it be that what you are printing is not just what you are seeing is not just a reminder. What you are seeing should be a kind of a reminder for print. It'll be a reminder that, okay, this bill is overdue, right? So it's also important that you should know you can leave this. So you can see that this bill is seriously overdue, because it's as of April, and now we are in December 2nd. So just close this. That's why the reminder is very important. So that is the kind of reminder I actually want to be seeing, not just the reminder for the print and the sent mails. Okay, but it's important. Those things are actually important too, but I don't want them in this case. So let's go ahead and see, create another invoice. Now this invoice, the terms for this invoice is due on received. Now due on received is a custom add for one, then the value is 4,500. Then you add tax, that is plus tax. Okay, let's go ahead. Now let's go back here. Who is a customer? The customer is Meli Veleso is 1, and the other is custom art, and the value is this. Yes, the value is 4,000. Now we're going to add 7% tax on it, and it's a due on receive day. So okay, let's go ahead, and the date of the transaction is 2nd of April. So once you do that, you enter save and new. Yes, save and new. So let's go ahead and again QUICKBOOKS art, again another transaction for QUICKBOOKS art on the 30th of April. 35 pieces, 35 pieces of the same kind of ads. 35 pieces, 30th, and the terms of the agreement is net 30 days. Okay, you see that immediately you select this item, select this customer, the terms of agreement will change automatically for this, because it takes precedent from the previous invoice sent to that person. So it's 35. We have group art sales, so that is a value. Let's see, is that the same thing? Yes, that is a value 1225. No tax charge on that. Let's say save and close, because that is the last invoice. So that's the last invoice. So let's go ahead and see. Now look at this note. QUICKBOOKS ad is the only customer that receives a discount because they buy individual art classes in bulk and pay within 15 days. So we are going to see where to record those receipts later. Now this is purchase order. What we want to do here is want to enter purchase order. If you need more explanation on purchase order, visit the purchase order section in the class and the previous class so that you understand better. So we're going to create this purchase order. The purchase order is going to Hopkins. So if you create purchase order for Hopkins, then for these items, these are the items we're going to create purchase order for. So purchase order is actually saying that okay, we don't have this thing in our store and we want to order it. So let's create purchase order. Click on purchase orders. So once you click on purchase order, who is your vendor now? The vendor is Red Hawks. Now what is the date? The date of that transaction is 1st April. The date of the transaction is 1st April. Now what is the item? The item is 24 by 36 art prints. How many is it? We only need 4. So it will calculate the value automatically for us. Then we have 11 by 14, 12. 11 by 14, 12. The values are calculated. Then we have 5 by 7, 14. 5 by 7, 14. So the total value is 84.5. Now that's what 848.5. Yeah, so that is correct. Let's go ahead and save it. That's the only purchase order we are creating here. That is correct. Save and close. Okay, now let's go ahead also see. Be sure you create the bill for the purchase order from the purchase order. It is very easy. Please make sure the dates are correct. See the table below as well. So let's go ahead and enter some bills. let's go ahead and enter some bills. Now these are the bills we are owing as of the beginning of April when we started. So we are owing this person for April 1st. We are owing this person for rent. So we're going to enter bills. So we're going to enter bills. Sorry, not this bill actually. We're going to come to our vendor. I will say enter bill. Now when you click on enter bill, who are we paying? Who are we paying? We are paying Jasmine Estate. Date is 1st April. Rent, which is the rent for rent. You select the account rent, which is going to be 3,000. Rent for April. The description is going to be rent for April 2024. Rent for April 2024. Then on the same date again we have this transaction, but I will not use this. I will not enter the transaction. I will not use this particular. I will have to save this first before I enter, even though the date are the same, but it's not the same vendor. Okay, it's not the same vendor. So let's see. So it's not the same vendor. So what I will do is save this first. Now the due date for this is 1st April. The due date is 1st April. The due date is still 1st April. So click on save and new. Let's go ahead again and see. This is the person we are paying. On 1st April, that is when we receive the bill. The due date is 16th. And what are we paying for? We are owing for utility, that's telephone and internet bills. Telephone and internet bills. Telephone and internet bills. So this is the person. Now the due date is 16th. Now it's going to be utility, that's telephone. It's going to be utility. What is our utility? Now under our utility you have phone and internet expenses. Phone and internet expenses. The description. Now let me bring it in. This is the description. So once you put the amount, put the description, you can go ahead and say save and new again, so that we can enter other bills. So we have Red House Prints. This is their bill also on the 4th of April, and the due date is April 19. Red Hopkins. So this is it. This is the bill. Red Hopkins. So once we select Red Hopkins, it will tell you that we have a purchase order already existing for this customer, right? Already a purchase order already existing for this customer. Now, what does this mean? It means that we have received this item, but we have not yet paid for it. Now, let me show you another way you can receive this item instead of using this particular place. Enter the bill. So you can come back to this place, come to your receive inventory item. Now you can say receive item with bill. So when you say receive item with bill, it automatically let me clear this. When you say receive item with bill, it will now ask you which is the customer, which is the vendor. Once you say this is the vendor, it will open up the same information it opens when we wanted to enter that bill. So it's still the same way you can do if you have open purchase order available for that vendor. It will always give you this information, whether you use it from here or you use it from the other side. So it's still going to give you the same. You say yes. So we receive this item and we say okay. So this is the item we received. What is the value? Now you check and confirm the value is 848.5, but here we have 84.6, so we have $20 charge on that. So that $20 charge will be a kind of shipping fee. So I'm going to add that shipping fee here. So that shipping expense, which is the $20, I'm going to add it here. So it's going to be shipping charges. All right, shipping charges. So if you check it, it will now be equal to what we have here, right? So that is the value. So once you do that, you click save and new. Oh, we forgot to do something, so let's go back and see. We forgot to do something. The date we received that item is on the 4th. And the due date is 19th. So the due date is 19th. Do we have any terms of agreement? Okay, the due date is 19th. Yeah, we have already entered that. So we'll save and new. So let's go ahead again and add this. This is a bill too for us. That's the vendor. The bill came from this vendor. Purchase of large glass art display. Purchase of US. Purchase of large art display. So this is going to be purchase of large art display. This an asset. Art display. This an asset. It's an asset to us. So let's go ahead and copy this, then paste it here. So what is the due date? The due date is April 4th, and the due date is May 19th. April 24th, and the due date is May 19th. So once you do that, you click save and new. So Jasmine rent. So this is rent for May. So this is rent for May, which is going to be 30th. Due date will also be 30th. Okay, the rent is $3,000. May rent. So that is it. So once you're done with that, you click save and close as well. Now we are done entering bills. What we did, we created some invoices, then we created a purchase order, and we received the item against that purchase order. Then we enter a couple of bills. Now see this. Remember I told you that the $20 on Red Hawk's print is a kind of a shipping charge. So you can see that's it here. This is where it was pointed out. So what we did the right thing by adding it to that bill. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we have next in our manual. So the next one, we're going to be entering a couple of transactions again for the month of April, and it's very, very important that you pay key attention. So when we return back, we're going to do that, and think that will be a kind of a complete summary or a complete detail way of entering transactions. Remember I told you that this class is full with technical skills that is required in recording transaction in QuickBooks. So there are things you may not see on one go, but you have to use some accounting expertise to record such transactions. So that is what we're going to be seeing in a couple of minutes. So see you in the next class.